even though I don't know if that's a thing.
Photosensitivity. What's it called? What? It's just a seizure warning before most games,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
There you go. I'm gonna throw this. Alright, I'm gonna put this up. We're gonna put up a zero cam. Because god damn is that sexy LED. Damn that RGB boy. That Valt boy. Hello everybody, welcome to the Church of Chonkwij podcast. My name is DrNiggle. Joined by Kosen, Masami, OmegaConstruct, and C0C. Burn. Happy New Year,
I know the minute
everybody.
he put. I knew the minute you put him up that you'd started. Like I just knew somehow deep in my soul.
You know what's coming next? It's peripheral cam.
I got a new keyboard and it is beautiful and amazing.
Did you actually just drop a D20, or is that very carefully placed there? Just being like, oh, a D20. How did that get there?
Well, this was Zero's Christmas present to me.
Oh!
The D20 came with Strut.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes. The D20 came with him, and so they just kind of hang out together. They're buddies.
I'm sorry, I just saw the mechanical pencil between your enter key and the arrows and the home and all the rest of that. I have a pen right there, right now. I do the same fucking thing.
Yeah, and beside me are about like 5 bazillion books on each side of me. So yeah.
Yeah, it's great. I have a fucking computer with notepad on it. I can take all the notes that I want, and I keep on writing things down physically. What am I, old?
No, trust me, my notebook addiction tells me that you are perfectly sane. Because if you're not sane, then what am I?
I know. Yeah, I think we all know I'm crazy.
That's true. That's true.
But we love you anyway, Doc.
Oh, thank you. Say more nice things, but no, wait, don't.
We got to inflate your ego somehow.
Yeah, right. That's exactly what needs to happen. More of that. More of that in the world, please. So yeah, it's 2022, and the podcast from last week, I rewatched it. It's just a conglomeration of. It's a total fucking shit show. But gosh, yeah, were we having fun playing GTA? So yeah.
I mean, when don't we? So.
I can't believe we didn't. Oh no, I did steal a bus. Never mind.
You absolutely stole a bus. We just didn't do any bus rampages.
That's true. I accidentally did, actually, because I stole that bus and then I lost the cops while driving a bus, which I always think is neat. I'm always proud of myself. And then I happened to end up right by the off-ramp where we always do the bus rampage. So I did it for like 30 seconds.
I mean, that's fair.
This tradition was upheld. But yeah, it's a new year. Anybody got resolutions besides play more D&D? Because it's finally 2022 and we're playing D&D again.
I mean, no.
Yeah, I don't really make resolutions myself. Really.
I try not to do the whole resolutions thing because then if I fail, I feel like I'm a failure, and
you are not a failure.
Well, I just think
I don't know. My father would disagree with you.
What? Yeah.
What is do not underestimate what I do, what I may or may not do.
I just think the whole resolution thing is stupid because people are never making resolutions that are believable. Like,
that's true.
This year I'm going to drink more alcohol. Or, yeah, this year I am gonna really stretch out the number of days between showers. To save
so you're
water,
going for
some
the Asmongold resolution. Got it.
Yeah, what's his... I just learned his real name. I think his
records was like, Zach.
Zach, that's the one, okay. Yeah, why? He's got a fucking record on Twitch or something?
14 days.
Without taking a shower?
Without taking a shower.
I bet I could beat that. It's not that difficult, you just keep on telling yourself that you're going to do it tomorrow.
I think I was capable of something like that in middle school before I was really conscious of BO, but Yeah.
Oh yeah, but now everybody works from home.
Yeah, I know, right? I can go days without a shower now.
Interestingly enough, I'm better about showering now than I was when I went into the office. Fun fact, no one needed to know, but it's there anyway.
You care more about your home employees than you did your work employees? I mean, I could believe that.
I mean, I feel like I've actually got more time to actually have a shower, to be honest. As weird as that sounds.
I mean, yeah, I guess when you don't have a commute or anything.
I mean, not that my commute was like long in the first place, but like sometimes 10 minutes matters, man.
Yeah, that's true. Also, I don't have a commute, or I haven't had a commute for quite a while. But when I did, the worst commute that I had was driving into Boston, or driving to Symphony, from where I live, which was like 40 minutes without traffic, significantly longer with. And my commute kept on getting longer because I kept on doing more things right before I got in. So I was just like, oh, well, there's a 7-Eleven right there. I'm going to go get a slushie before I go to work. And then, I was still smoking. I'm going to take a smoke break before I go in the building. All this shit just ate into my time. Showed up like 40 minutes late. They're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I'm like, traffic, man.
Traffic. I mean, yeah, if it works.
We saw you doing your amateur stand-up bit with a 7-Eleven slushie and a cigarette on the front steps of NEC. The fuck you talking about traffic? I don't
Look,
know.
there were a lot of people in between me and this chair.
They wouldn't let me into the building until I told at least 3 dick jokes. Those homeless people outside of NEC, man. Anyway. Yeah, we are currently watching Kosen play Ori and Sorry, I'm doing too many things right here. What's the name of the game, Kosen, and why do you love it so?
Well, this is Ori Will of the Wisp, which is the second game in the series, and I absolutely love this game due to its artistry, its gameplay, and how it just fucking tugs on the feels. I mean, Masami had to come and console me a little while ago because I was fucking crying because I thought they killed a little owlet. Like, seriously, I was blubbering. She came in here, was wondering what was going on with me, and I was like, they killed Koo! And yeah, come to find out the owlet is severely injured but not dead, and you're currently attempting to save her. But that was still heartbreaking, man. She's a cute little owl.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with crying in a video game or anything. You brought this up last night, and I said maybe check out Spiritfarer, because that's a game and a half, honestly.
Oh my god, I just realized that
What?
the name on the back of this armored truck is Group Sex. That is great.
Where is it? Oh,
Yeah,
there it is.
group sex is pretty awesome.
Yeah. Oh, very nice. Okay. I figure, okay, so Discord, when you're streaming your screen on Discord and you also have Discord overlay on your Discord stream and I'm watching it on Discord, the overlay freaks out.
I am unsurprised. Say
That's
it
fun,
ain't
though.
so.
Discord says, the fuck are you doing to me, man?
It's Discord within Discord within a Discord. It's brilliant.
It's creating Discord in your computer.
Oh god.
You know, they throw up little facts while I'm like
Why?
launching Discord every once in a while. Did you know that it was almost called Bonfire?
What? Excuse me, what?
They almost called it Bonfire because you sit down and you have a cozy little bonfire and talk with all your friends.
They should have just called it Kumbaya at that point.
I could. Is that? Yeah, no, they totally could have. Yeah, why not? But moving into 2022, we have a billion news articles that are all reflecting on 2021 because why not? and I picked one of them, which sounds it sounds negative off the cusp, but it's actually just an article that explores consequences of things that we have all been talking about. It's titled "Why 2021 Was the Worst Year for PC Gaming," but the reason is maybe
Worse
not what
because
people
your
think.
mother. No, I'm just-
Yeah, right. It's not because you like bad games or Cyberpunk flopped or anything. That was 2 years ago, whatever the hell. Yeah, none of that crap. Basically, it's an exploration of how uh, bot networks and scalpers have really impacted the PC architecture industry. From just motherboards to GPUs, mainly GPUs. It's finally gotten to the point where you can no longer point to a PC and say, I built that, and it's better than your Xbox. And it's also cheaper. So
That is unfortunately true.
now with this PS5 and the Xbox X coming out as consoles, they last year were actually cheaper and performed better than anything you could build for an equivalent price tag in terms of PCs. So that's kind of really sad that 2021 was a year. Hopefully not the start in the permanent way of things from now on, but it was at least 1 year where graphics cards came out. The it was the NVIDIA RTX 3080 came out, and unlike the 2000 series, there were no sub 500 cards that came along with those GPUs. It was just the $800 to $1,200 cards that were the high-end cards. This article points out that in the beginning of 2020, the RTX 2000 series was coming out. RTX 2080 was a huge fucking deal. I mean, or the RTX 2080 Ti was like the top of the line card that you could buy for $1,500, but they also had the 2070 and they had the 2060s. They had the 2060 Supers, and those were between $300 and $500. And that's true. I remember in this article, I bought my 2060 when it was like $320. But there are none of those cards, none of those equivalent cards for the 3000 series. There is only the 3080, and that's one aspect of the hardware industry that's been hit for PC. And yeah, that's kind of the reasoning behind why 2021 was the worst year for PC gaming. It's the worst year for PC gaming, PC rig builders. Shit's expensive, yeah. And it's because people are buying up components and reselling them, or just taking them for crypto mining or what have you.
Well, and I saw an article earlier today. I was reading an article about from a guy who was like, I'm honestly not even looking forward to attempting to try to buy a 40 series card because one, you probably won't be able to get your hands on one. Two, it's not going to be affordable at all.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I really don't want to pay $1,000 for a GPU.
I mean, I was looking at GPUs the other day, and I was just like, okay, I can get a 2080, and it's going to cost me $900 to get. And I'm sitting there, it's
I just had a
stupid.
really depressing thought. We've been lamenting for so long how games are switching to models that cater almost exclusively to whales. Well, it kind of fucking makes sense if the hardware manufacturers start doing the same thing.
Well, I'll say this in terms of the logic of the article and what I mainly agree with in terms of capitalism, basically. You have crypto miners that are interested in buying up cards. You have NVIDIA, which failed horribly in its efforts to put a hardware block on crypto mining on its cards. We covered that 2 years ago. That was hilarious. They made it basically, to recap that story. Nvidia made a claim that their latest cards would not be able, the 3000 series would not be able to mine crypto because of a hardware security thing, just actually a chip on there that prevented it from happening. And then 2 weeks later, somebody figured out that you can just put in a $15 or a $10 little dongle that fakes it like you have a monitor plugged into it, and you can bypass the hardware completely. So you have people that are buying these cards up to mine crypto, and you have the whales, like you said, Omega, who are not afraid to drop $1,500 or $2,500 in some cases on a brand new card that comes out just to say that they've got it.
Well, from the manufacturer's perspective, a crypto miner and a rich gamer are the same. They don't give a shit. If they can market $1,500 cards and sell them, they're going to do that.
And that's the point. If they can market and sell a $1,500 card, then why would they ever make cheaper cards, especially if they sell out day one?
And here's the other thing: like when you actually look into how the hardware is made, yes, obviously quality of parts is a factor, but at a certain level of principle, the difference between a mid-level card and a high-range card is that the high-range card has more of the shit that the mid-range card has on it. It's got more of the memory modules. It's got more of the, just each of the different things that are on a mid-range card, you put more of them on a high-range card. If these card manufacturers look at the market and they say, hey, we can make half as many cards and put only 1.5 times as many parts on them, and sell them for twice as much money, we are making more money for less investment on our part. Like, it's business wise for them. If people are going to keep paying for these super expensive cards, it makes sense for them to keep doing that, especially when we're dealing with shortages right now, which means that they will get more bang for their buck by selling fewer expensive cards than they will by trying to sell cheaper cards.
So we're actually seeing two things you said that were important in there. Yeah, there is absolutely a global supply chain issue. Something I did not realize, there's also a bottleneck within the industry. AMD is apparently, according to this article, they use the word utterly in terms of reliance on the Taiwanese Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, otherwise known as TSMC. If you saw the logo, you'd know the company. I didn't realize AMD gets virtually all of their semiconductors from one manufacturing company. Nvidia is the same way. But it's not their semiconductors, it's the architecture, it's how their cards are printed and put together. They're entirely reliant on Samsung, and they're the manufacturers of the subsidiaries of Samsung. So there's a bottleneck within the industry on top of a supply chain issue where these companies are not capable of putting out more than a certain number of cards, and even if they were capable of putting out more than a certain number of cards, they don't have the resources in which to do so. So, getting to the second important thing you said, Omega, is what the fuck did I just think in my mind and lose?
Something very important that will come back to you eventually.
Something drastically important.
More profitable and cost-effective for them to sell more expensive cards.
There you go. Yeah. So it's absolutely more cost-effective for them to just take the parts that they have, put them into their most expensive product line, because they know their most expensive product line is going to sell out on day one, because whales and scalpers and crypto miners. But the scalpers are mainly serving the crypto miners. So yeah, that's just the graphics part of the graphics card, the GPU side of PC gaming. Motherboards also suffered. It's not touched on as much in this article. This article focuses mostly on GPUs. But generally, computer components, PC components, are becoming more expensive, and there isn't really a system in place right now to change that. So we're just hoping that the market sort of evolves one and finds a good financial reason to do so. But yeah, so that was I hadn't really thought of it in these terms, but now that we've had almost 2 full years going by of covering articles about scalpers buying up GPUs and COVID fucking with global supply chains, we're finally starting to see solid consequences of what that means.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, zero. I'm not buying. I am up shit creek if my if something goes wrong with my 2060, because I am
Well,
not paying $800 for an equivalent card.
it's like
2060. Jesus, I'm on like a card that's on its last legs at this point. I mean, shit, this thing's been around for so long. Temperatures are rough. I've replaced the thermal paste on it 3 times. I'm playing most games on like medium settings at best. Fuck, man, my computer could die at any day, and there's like not a damn thing I could do about it. Integrated graphics is all it had left.
So the thing is, I'd still be using my. I had GTX 770s, the special edition of it. I'd still be using those things because I had SLI. I replaced the fans on those. I replaced the thermal paste, took them out, cleaned them a bunch of times. I had those things for years, and I'd still be using them if they didn't both burn out. Shit, yeah, 10 years is like too long to be using a card, apparently. Or 2 cards. So yeah, good times.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, yeah, another fun topic that we have been talking about is NFTs.
No joy.
Square Enix president came out with an announcement that he acknowledges that people who play to have fun dislike NFTs, but he wants them in his games anyway. So this is the Square Enix president, who's known for such games as blah 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 blah. Yeah. He basically said that people who play to have fun, they obviously people like that went out and commented on here, and they criticized his decision for throwing NFTs in the game for every reason. One of them that's new coming out is a concept for play to earn, where you have to play for a certain amount of time to earn something, which is not. It's not a new concept, but it's not something that I'm terribly familiar with in games. It's certainly not something that I've talked about very much. So there's everything from that all the way to the ecological concerns, environmental concerns. But he feels, the president of Square Enix, Yosuke Matsuda, has said that he respects NFT's abilities to please people who don't play for fun but play to contribute. So he wants to foster an environment of a welcome environment for people who play games so that they can contribute to the game. Which again, is not a new concept. It's not something I'm entirely familiar with. I usually just play games to figure out how to break them. I suppose that's what you're doing.
maybe you could break them in a way that would fuck the NFTs. That would be great.
I don't know. Blockchain technology and all the rest of that. It's pretty ironclad. So yeah, Square Enix doesn't have any plans to put anything in their existing games, but going forward, they will be another video game industry who will be exploring options for NFTs in their games.
Not surprised, honestly, but
No, I mean, Ubisoft did it, and now everybody's jumping on the bandwagon. Despite the reception that Ubisoft got, we've had 2 major developers now follow suit.
it won't be long before other major triple. I have a feeling that the AAA studios will be the first to step up in order to engage in this, and then which will force basically AA and independent studios to engage in it somewhat in order to be able to compete.
I don't know if an independent studio would really need to. Like, an independent studio has never been about jumping on. I'm probably going to be able to call bullshit on myself like an hour from now. Independent studio has never been about jumping on the latest technology and like making it into a novel new idea game or something like that. The indie games that I play, at least, are all about like the creative aspect of video game design, of telling a story that hasn't been told or telling a story in a different way that hasn't been told. And the shift the shift there is the creative side of indie development is much more doable for an indie environment because the technological side, the innovative side of that usually requires substantially more resources, and that includes manpower and money, and that's one of the reasons why Ken Levine's in trouble, I think, which we will talk about later. But yeah, I just wanted to bring this up. Square Enix also interested in NFTs in their game. Zero announcement as to how they will use the NFTs. Maybe they'll actually be the ones to find a way to make it fun.
I don't know. I still don't see it as any different from any other microtransaction. It's just a new type.
The other thing here is, do you think the AAA studios, when they all get on board with the NFTs or NFT, maybe cosmetics, say the NFTs are all cosmetics in their games, do you think that they'll all get together and make the NFTs cross-tradable so that one NFT from an Ubisoft title could show up in a Square Enix title?
Oh, I highly doubt that, but I mean, I could see the company doing that within their own games.
Or do you think independent, isolated NFT communities?
I mean, why wouldn't it be? I don't think they'd be developing it. They would be developing it for their game. I don't see why they would let it exist in somebody else's game.
There's also we don't actually have to talk about it, but there is this article briefly brings it up. There is a movement which who's Sweeney, the CEO of Epic, and Mark Zuckerberg have been talking about for years, which is the metaverse, where everything online it's based. They're essentially talking about Second Life, and everything they're talking about is bullshit, in my opinion. But yeah, in such a metaverse, NFTs would just, they would be you could buy something in your you can buy something on an Ubisoft title, you buy a cosmetic in an Ubisoft title, and then you could apply it to your avatar on Pornhub. So that there is an entire conversation happening about the metaverse, quote unquote, that the technology giants would really like to make happen for money reasons, of course.
Obviously.
Yeah, but we don't have to talk about that. The metaverse is the key phrase. Anybody would like to learn more? Would you like to know more?
Have they ever upgraded the graphics on Second Life? Just as a really bad, curious question.
I have no idea. Is Second Life still around?
I think it is.
I couldn't really honestly tell you, to be absolutely I can't even remember what Second Life is.
Pretty sure it still has a
You
very
might have to-
dedicated community.
Oh yeah. There's definitely people that still use it to hook up and have virtual sex, and basically it's a Second Life. It's literally a gigantic MMO where you basically live.
Oh my
You have a
goodness!
space, you decorate it.
There's not actually a game.
Yeah, it's
It's
not
literally just a virtual world that people are in, and they buy things and houses and things that are they consider their own, and they pretend like that's real world. It's
Second Life.
truly just it's a fantasy generator. You can be whatever you want to be, and as a result, it's usually filled with a certain kind of person.
Yep. We'll be honest. I
you're right.
actually had actually tried it out at one point in time, and I was like, "What in the oh dear no."
Yeah.
So it is. I didn't realize that its initial release date was June 23rd, 2003.
Yep.
And
I
it's
was doing that in
still
college.
it's still
yeah.
going. Secondlife.com is still a thing with a login and a marketplace and a join area.
There's a YouTube channel, and most of his videos are just he only releases a video like once in a blue moon, but they're almost always just compilations of him trolling people in Second Life.
Yep.
And
Okay.
it's the greatest thing ever.
So yeah, I remember hearing about Second Life back right after I graduated high school, and it was from my step grandmother, and now I'm weirded the fuck out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been used for every foul thing and every not foul thing the internet's ever been used for.
If you're talking about like VR world, VR 4chan, then yeah, I'm all about
Yep.
this. I'll check it out.
Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much how I describe it.
Oh God! Oh God!
I'm
Well,
enamored.
there's not
Oh,
enough
God.
alcohol or bleach in this world that could get. Oh God!
I'm pretty sure I can't recover my account because I'm pretty sure that belongs to an email either I don't have the login to anymore, or I couldn't remember the password and I don't care enough to reset it to get that back.
Do you age in Second Life?
No, your avatar is whatever the fuck you are, and there's basically people who just like all the stores on there are basically digital assets that people have made, and because it's made with that early mid 2000s internet tech, it's not hard to make shit, and people will just buy it. And yeah, it's a
But like I
whole
said,
thing.
it's like fantasy genre. You're fat, boom,
Yeah.
you buy a skinny avatar. You're ugly,
Yep.
boom, you buy a hot avatar. You're
Yep.
bald, boom, you buy an avatar with full head of hair. Like literally,
Yep.
it is people who have massive dissatisfaction with their real life,
Yep.
so they live in this fantasy world.
Yep. 100%.
Hold up here. I need to look up a Bruce Willis movie from
But
a
like
while ago.
the game is literally them like just talking to people and,
Yeah.
and just they're like I said, there's no game here. It's just
No.
a virtual space that
Yeah.
they can go into.
Yeah, there's like clubs and just places you can hang out. They'll have like little signs saying where you can join for voice chats and things like that. It's literally a virtual space.
But like somebody owned and made that club.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like none of it is provided by the game. It is
Nope.
there are people who their Second Life pretend existence is to be a club owner.
Yep.
They're a club owner and they own a club, and people in the game go and dance and play and hang out at the club. Like it's crazy.
Is there a way to make money off those people who go to your club?
Yeah, you can just let them in.
Can you actually make a living, like real money? Can you make a living off owning shit in Second Life?
Honestly, I wouldn't doubt it.
I wouldn't doubt it either. I know people make a living selling assets to people, like avatars and clothing and stuff, houses,
Oh, sure.
you name it.
Yeah.
I wonder if like somebody could have a club or something for it. Just use that example, and they have like a Patreon, and to like get into the club, you've got to be a patron.
Yeah, that would
Like,
work. That
I
would
wonder if
probably
that's
work.
a thing. That could totally be a thing.
Because you just kind of like float around and to travel in it. At least that's what I remember. Anyway, this is my early 2000s memories trying to resurface somehow. So
okay, so we're talking about a virtual environment where people live and do all this shit and spend money, and it's not real. It's just Second Life. Here's another reason why the metaverse is bullshit. There was a movie in 2009. I found it. It's called Surrogates, starring Bruce Willis. This is one of those movies where he did not give a shit, but still, it's an interesting sci-fi movie. The let's see, the box or quote on it. Set in a futuristic world where humans live in isolation and interact through surrogate robots, a cop is forced to leave his home for the first time in years in order to investigate a murder.
I remember that movie.
Yeah, this is way more likely in my mind than some fucking metaverse bullshit where you live inside of the Matrix. You put your human body inside of a pod at your house and you use a robot to go out and interact with, the world. Way more likely because why? The real world fucking exists. Nobody wants to work on a virtual desktop. It's clunky, shit falls over, it's a fucking mess. You want your physical desktop, it's way easier to control. This just makes more sense to me than a virtual reality world. So you just wait until we get that fucking neural link technology, and we can have robots walking around, and then we'll have real life avatars, and I can be a goblin.
Is that so you can so Leetness can also be a goblin and you guys can get married, and yeah, people will actually like legitimately like get Second Life married. Like it's not like legal because it could be people from two fucking different countries, but it's like legal within that, or like it's recognized in that world. It's
Oh
the
yeah, no,
whole thing.
it's recognized in the second world, but it's not legal in the real world, because in the real world it's illegal for a 35-year-old man to get married to a 14-year-old boy, both of them pretending to be anime chicks.
I'm just
Honestly,
gonna
I
leave
wouldn't
that.
imagine there's a lot of 14-year-olds because I feel like the level of sadness you have to reach to play that game seriously is something that comes after decades of disappointment.
That's an interesting point.
Yeah, kids are all about the Fortnite and the Minecraft.
Like the graphical level that Second Life is probably still at, if it's never received a graphical update, is only something that people in their 30s and 40s would even barely put up with at this point.
Oh my
And
goodness.
the only reason there would be someone younger is they realize they're great graphical artists. They can, they picked up the code easy and they want to make some money off of stupid old people.
There's a lot of that going on. Oh goodness. All right, so just quickly get back. I was talking about indie dev studios and why.
That was a tangent.
Why? Yeah, I know. Yeah, it really was. Indie dev studios and why the creative aspect in indie games is way more prevalent than any technological aspects of indie games. Real life example of this going on right now with Ken Levine, who broke away from Irrational Games.
Nope.
I think was his first studio.
Did we lose you?
What?
Hmm?
Microphone?
Did we lose Doc?
No, I'm still here.
Maybe
You
his
hear me?
cord went ballistic.
Yeah, sounds like we lost him.
What the fuck?
There you are.
And he returns.
God fucking damn it. Okay.
There you are.
Yeah. All right. So you still hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
we can hear you.
BioShock creator Ken Levine announced in 2014 that he was winding down Irrational Games, the studio he co-founded in 1997, in order to start a smaller, more entrepreneurial project
Muriel?
at Take-Two Interactive. So his studio is now known as Ghost Story. And he was supposed to release a game around 2017, but recent interviews with previous employees who recently quit said that any game they have in the work is still at least 2 years away. The reason, Kosen, I think, posted a tweet or something about, oh no, you posted an article to some website that gave me a malware warning. I was just like, huh. And then I went and I looked it up somewhere else. And he's a great salesperson, but he's way more adept at running a large studio that really wants to push game technology than he is a small studio where they don't have the resources to do that. So that's why the company that he's got right now, Ghost Story, sounds like it's being mismanaged simply because it's not as big as it should be. He wants it to be very small, but what he wants is more in line with a larger AAA studio.
Without getting told what the fuck to do is what it sounds like his problem is.
Possibly also, yes. Yeah, absolutely.
He wants the resources, but he doesn't want the oversight.
Right. And miraculously, I mean, this company's been around since 2014. It's now 2022. He hasn't put out a single title, and the only title that's still unnamed is in the works. Take-Two doesn't seem concerned at all. They have been funding him pretty much without question for these years in the hopes that what he comes out with will be the next big thing.
Huh.
So he's got that going for it. And not for nothing.
Guys, I'll be right back.
Yep. Not for
Heard-
nothing. This is the guy who created BioShock BioShock and BioShock Infinite, SWAT 4, System Shock 2, and Thief: The Dark Project, which I played a lot of that when I was a kid.
I
So-
love Thief: The Dark Project. Such a good game.
Thief: The Dark Project and Thief 2 were both fucking fantastic games that I played. They scared the shit out of me, but I played a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
So he's obviously a talented guy. It's just the indie studio approach with a very small team of dedicated people is not working out for what he wants as a developer.
But you understand why I brought up the one point about the fact that there may be independent studios that want to try to take advantage of technology and whatnot, like blockchain
Oh, for
and
sure.
stuff like that.
Yeah, especially if they can figure out a small focused way to isolate an aspect of it and just really go ham on that one aspect and maybe hopefully turn it into something like really extraordinary because of the amount of focus and detail that they put into that one piece of technology. Yeah, sure. But yeah, that's just a little thing there.
It'll be interesting to see how it all shakes out in the end. But yeah, ultimately with the whole NFT thing, I probably wouldn't have so much of a problem with it if it wasn't causing a GPU shortage. If it was, or it's making a GPU shortage worse than what
Oh,
it
well,
currently already is.
that's crypto mining more than NFTs.
Yeah.
Okay, true. I mean,
Yeah, the
And
NFT thing
scalpers.
doesn't have a lot to do with that. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's whatever. We've covered
Yeah.
NFTs pretty extensively in the past two podcasts. So we're as stated, Omega, and I think a lot of us are now just waiting for how the technology will shape out.
It's still a gimmick. It's like so many things. It's a new technology without an application, so we're seeing a lot of really gimmicky applications. One day, the technology behind it is sound, and there is some value to it. It's the applications that everybody's looking at and laughing their asses off. So, one day it'll find its place, I'm sure, and it will make sense. But you know, I'm not at all surprised that what's happening now is what we see.
And in a lighter side of news, I just want to throw this out there. George R.R. Martin thinks Elden Ring looks incredible. You might ask, why is George R.R. Martin commenting on a Dark Souls-esque game that is coming out fairly soon?
I know the answer to this one.
Yeah, he was invited to write some lore. He was invited to write some back history to the Elden Ring universe, and he was apparently happy to do so. And wrote out some imaginary history and some goings on in the world, and handed it over to he says he quote handed this over to his Japanese friends and let them go with it. And yeah, they're shaping this world around some roots that he helped to grow.
Oh yeah, that was one of the main things that was making this entire game really appealing, at least to me, was the fact of the matter that Miyazaki and him were working hand in hand with this. Like, I think, as the way you put it, like George R.R. Martin just essentially laid the foundation, and they basically filled in the rest with their own stuff. So yeah, I'm pretty ecstatic. I'm counting down the days. We're currently 53 days and 8 hours away from its release.
There you go. So yeah, I just wanted to throw that in there. Nice that George R.R. Martin is still doing some work. I really wish they would finish his fucking books.
I remember when it was first released that he was working on the Elden Ring thing when the game was first announced, and like the prevailing attitude from his fan base was, "Why are you doing other things other than finishing the fucking books?"
Honestly, I think the fucking the audience scared him off finishing his last books, because maybe the last two seasons of Game of Thrones may have lacked his character dialogue, which is what made people fall in love with the show, I hope, in seasons 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. the rich character story and all the interaction between that. It was first and foremost a drama, and then it was a bloody, violent mess with penises and boobs and vegan
And incest.
and incest, glorious incest. Hey, I haven't talked about incest
Boobs,
porn in a while.
glorious boobs.
Darn tootin'. Yeah. But yeah, maybe the last 2 seasons of Game of Thrones were much closer to what he wrote than what people wanted to imagine that he wrote. And so he's just like, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I shouldn't. And then he just got off it.
I mean, honestly,
That'd be sad.
I'm gonna guess it's more of like he's just written one thing for so long that he just needs multiple palate cleansers.
Yeah. Also, yeah, I could probably believe that. Let's see. And something else I want to throw in here just for fun. Be the bad guy. Darkest Dungeon, like Eratus, Lord of the Dead, is free on GOG. So you can get this game, which is... I just looking at the interface, it is a Dark Souls sort of clone. But you play the bad guy.
Oh, that's
So-
kind of nifty.
You play a necromancer who just spawns all this shit, and you fight against quote-unquote good guys.
Are you practicing for Barry's final form?
I have no idea. I don't know where Barry's going. That's the best thing about Barry.
That's true. I don't know if Barry knows where Barry's going. I don't know if Barry cares, as long as it's somewhere with booze and fun.
Hookers.
Yeah.
Booze and tits. Boobs, glorious boobs. Sorry, Zero. Zero, you want to sing it with me? No? Okay. Oh shit, he stepped up again. No, wait, he's back. Zero, you're back, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, physically, yes.
Okay, alright. Anyway, this game is free on GOG. There's going to be a spate of these now that 2022 have come out. Epic Game Store is obviously going to continue having his free titles. GOG is going to have some free titles. You might even see some very extremely steeply discounted shit on Steam. So, Happy New Year, everybody.
And I am sorry I had to run real quick. Apparently, well, clearly, somebody fell out in our breezeway area, and
Oh no!
was chasing after their cat and was screaming the condo number that the cat needed to go back to, and was pointing to one of the ones in our building. And the one she was screaming about was not in our building. She also looked, I mean, and no offense to anybody, but she looked a little strung out there.
I take offense to that. I am constantly strung out, sir.
Well, be offended if you like. But she, yeah, she's
She's not having a good day.
Well, she fell down the stairs chasing after her cat, and then she
Ooh.
fell up these stairs chasing after her cat, and I, my upstairs neighbor got the cat, cornered, and picked up the cat, thank God, and then she dropped her phone, and I was trying to give her her phone back, and she was like, well, I've got to take the cat back. I've got to take the cat. I was like, okay, take the cat back. I'm going to set your phone right here. Just you come back and get it, because I'm not standing outside in 30 or 28 degree weather. Sorry, it's not happening. I have no shoes on. I barely have pants on.
She fell downstairs, then fell upstairs. Aren't you supposed to, like, master fine motor control at the age of 6 or 7? I'm just saying. All right, fine. Yeah. She had a rough day. She ran out of heroin. She was falling downstairs. That sounds rough.
Yeah, but anywho.
Yeah, but anywho. A couple technology articles. One of them, Asus is announcing a recall for Z690 chipsets.
Ooh.
You might know these from the Hero motherboards. This is rare to happen, which is why I picked it up. This is rare to happen in the component world, but Asus, there's a close-up of it here. One of their motherboards has a control chip up in the right-hand corner that actually burns out. It melts down. It melts through the board and could potentially cause a fire. So Asus is issuing a recall for these boards, which I don't think any of us have. Does anyone have an Asus Z690 chipset board?
No.
No.
Yeah, I don't think so. But
I have I think mine's a Rock 320 or something like that.
yeah,
An ASRock?
A Republic of Gamers, one of the sexiest product lines that Asus puts out.
No,
For
Rock,
sure.
MS Rock.
Oh,
Oh,
not
sorry.
ROG.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah,
While I wish I could afford Republic of Gamers stuff.
it is really good. I mean, you get one of those boards, you're set for a decade at least. So yeah, I just wanted to throw that up there. Very unusual that a component would fail in this particular way, this hard. But I don't know what it was. If you got one of those boards, you got to give it back, or you should give it back. And the fun stuff. The company behind GamerBed releases a desktop hand massager, and it comes. The article came with a picture of the pain box from Dune, but what it actually looks like is something less intimidating. It is kind of like a little box that you just stick your whole hand into, and it features 15 air cushions, which can all be set to different intensities in areas providing hand massage. There are different pressures. I'm sorry.
We know what you meant, Doc.
Yeah. If you can stick your hand in it, I mean, I'm just saying.
You could probably stick your penis in it too, as well. You want to stick your penis in it, don't you, Doc?
If my penis could actually get into it, then yeah, that'd be great. Again. So I don't need a hand massager. I need a thumb massager.
Oh no.
There you go.
That makes me sad.
Happy New Year! The tiny dick jokes are going to continue until I die.
I had no illusions otherwise.
Thanks, Hope Corrigan, hardware writer for PC Gamer. Anyway, this thing looks neat. Anybody want a hand massager for their desk?
How much
Sure,
are
why
they?
not?
That's a good question. About $150 USD.
Yep, no thanks. I'm good.
But it massages your hands.
I can-
Potentially other parts if you want it to.
Well, much like our acorn penis friend Doc, I am in the same boat.
Yay, Tiny Dick Club.
Hashtag Tiny Dick 2022. This will be our year.
Yes, but will anyone
boy.
be able to see it?
Oh,
Oh.
now I'm sad.
That was a good one, though. That was a good fun. Oh, man. All right, and the last article that I thought was absolutely fucking amazing is a lickable screen that can imitate flavors is in development.
The snozberries taste like snozberries.
Indeed they will.
Jesus.
It is literally a screen which will be capable of secreting something that will allow you to taste whatever is on that particular area of the screen. And I love that the picture that they have of it looks like it's in a menu at a Japanese restaurant, because I can totally picture Japan as being a country loving eating out as much as they do. Giggity. They will pick something like this up as a technology, and it might explode. It might just be like really, really amazing and neat and shit like that. And then I started thinking about all of the health regulations that we had to go through back when I worked in a kitchen. No fucking way. No fucking way you're gonna pass menus out to people that they lick and then give them back. No amount of Windex or green stuff is going to be sufficient to sterilize that screen.
If you can wash a fork, you can wash a screen.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're gonna have to make these things so you can put them through dishwashers, essentially.
That bad, eh, Doc?
Yeah.
Yeah, the health codes are many and vigorous.
It was,
My parents
yeah.
used to own a hamburger joint, and I have some cognizance of the hell my dad went through for food inspections and stuff.
Yeah, the inspections were the worst, and I should say I only know about food code in New York State. That's the only place I've ever worked food. But as in college as a student manager, yeah, when there was a health code inspection, it was pretty fucking brutal. You basically disassemble the entire dining hall and the entire kitchen. You wash everything, you sterilize everything, you clean everything, and then you put it all back together. Which, sounds completely reasonable, but when you also have to serve food while you're doing it, that's when it gets a little tricky.
Yeah.
Just slightly
Yeah, I had
tricky.
to do that in a baseball stadium. You want to talk about fun?
Oh, great. Yeah, you probably had deep fryers.
Mm-hmm.
Deep fryers, flat. What are they? Like the Blackstone grills. We had quite a number of those.
Deep fryers, not... We only had the one, and it wasn't a big deal to clean out because the dude who was cooking on it all the time was fastidious about, maintaining and cleaning and keeping it not gross. But yeah, if I can easily picture if you let something like that go for too long, it just turning into a nightmare.
Nightmare indeed.
My grill was immaculate every time I cooked on it. My bosses actually had other cooks come down and clean or watch me clean the grill because it was literally
Did
wipe
they
it
all
down.
applaud afterwards too?
Huh?
Did they all applaud afterwards too?
They did. It was amazing. It really helped. It really boosted my ego at that time in my life.
Boosted your self-esteem.
Yeah.
Wow, you are a fantastic grill master.
But no, it was scrape thoroughly, grill brick, water, grill brick, water, wipe down, and we're good. So
Every
Right.
little bit helps.
I think the thing is, so just getting back to the lickable screen that can imitate flavors, I think this is going to be great. The great gag gift for people at Christmas, like you get a monitor that you can lick.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I think our
fun.
definition of what's great is. Although, imagine what this will do for the porn industry.
Oh my god.
oh no.
Yeah. I'm glad that
Oh,
you
no,
got
no,
there
no, no,
first.
no.
So, have you ever wanted to know what Asia Akira's pussy tasted like?
No, absolutely not.
I can't say I have either. Jenna Hayes, maybe. Probably. I don't know. She's pretty great.
Maybe Mia Khalifa. Maybe.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
that's
Did you
hey, that's classy.
you hear?
Hey,
Okay, so you
what
hear
can I
she,
say? I go first class or I don't fly at all.
she got out, or she's out of the porn industry now, and she's been talking for a little while about how she basically got forced into the whole thing and she hates
Yeah.
it, and hashtag
She's
free
speaking
me or
against
something.
it.
She
Yeah.
is. She only got paid something like $10,000 US for all the work that she ever did. And then I thought it was
Wow.
funny when I was reading this article, there was another article right next to it that's like, Mia Khalifa finally out of the hospital after her nose job. She paid $15,000 for a nose job as a Christmas present to herself. So obviously now that she's out of the porn industry, she's doing much better, and she's got a nose job, and hopefully much happier than she was.
Well, and then she talks about, oh, I can't go home to my home country because of what I've. Okay.
That I might be able to believe that. I mean,
Yeah.
depending
No,
on
I can
what
definitely
kind of her
believe
family
that.
is. Yeah. So yeah, I maybe not much happier, but at least happier that now that she's not in the porn industry. Hopefully, hopefully
She's
things get.
completely full of shit.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna go there, but yeah. So I'm also waiting for the OnlyFans account to pop up, or her private channel on Pornhub.
I don't think she's been out of it for a while now, hasn't she?
They all go back.
I
There's,
mean,
oh, I don't have her name up right now. Fuck, there was a great example of this. I believe she was a Colombian or she had Colombian heritage and she was in the porn industry. Jessie, God damn it, I'll remember her name. But yeah, she did the same thing. She was just like, yeah, I got tricked into the porn industry. I absolutely hated it. I didn't want to do anything. It was so degrading and all the rest of this. And I'm so glad that I'm out of it. And I found Jesus or something like that. And then she started up an OnlyFans site where basically she's still doing porn, but she's not paying
Right.
overhead.
I mean, yeah, I was about to say, if you're gonna do porn, might as well do it independently and make your bank.
But that's the whole thing. I mean, if you're coming out and you're talking shit about the porn industry and being like it's basically the sex trade and I get paid nothing for it, completely understandable why you hate it then. All right, anybody can get behind that. But when you start saying that, you never wanted to flash your tits or, do live sex shows and, stick a cucumber up your twat or something, and then you start an OnlyFans account, that's when I start laughing.
I can no longer suspend disbelief at that point.
Because honestly, who doesn't want to put a cucumber in them every now and again?
I mean,
I'm
I can honestly say I've never had the urge.
Yeah,
What?
I was about to say.
Am I the only person here who's ever deep-throated a cucumber?
I've deep-throated other things than cucumbers, but
Okay, learning a little too much about Kosen tonight.
Not too much. Hey, there's no judgment here. We all went to
No
college.
judgment.
So
No kink shaming, but
we all have that experimental phase between 18 and 22, or 18 and 35.
I'm closer to 40 than I'm actually 30.
Oh,
Sad but
boy.
true.
Yeah, so there you go. That's the list. Lickable screens.
Yeah, no, it should be fun. I mean, are they? Is this just a concept thing, or or are they actually reporting that they actually got one to work?
No, they have proof of concept. They have prototypes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
no, that's got a lot of potential coolness.
The article doesn't go into too much detail, but whenever I hear something like this, I'm always very curious about the particulars, such as if it's a flavor, then it must have a fuel to it, something like a juice that you stick into your monitor or something like that you refill. Like how does that work? Or is it like a sheet that you just sort of feed in, or have they got it to the point where it's like a little SD card that just has a flavor package in it that you just put into the side of your monitor and then you take it out when it's empty?
See, I was thinking the same thing. It's either got to be they're literally like pre-installed flavor dispensers that you have to put in and will limit what flavors you can have. But if you actually look at it biomechanically, what we're dealing with, like when we taste something, it's a molecule, a receptor that is approximately the shape of that molecule. So now what we're dealing with when they say a screen, is what kind of surface is this going to be? An LCD screen that can have flavors on it, or by screen are they talking more theoretically, or I guess just more euphemistically? So who knows? Could they maybe invent something that changes its shape to imitate different molecular patterns that our tongue might detect as flavor? I don't know. That'd be pretty cool. But
That would be pretty cool.
I feel like if it's something that comes with pre-installed flavor packs, it's going to be gross.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's just
so here's
nasty.
here's something I'm going to show my age here because we're all old enough to remember overhead projectors.
Correct.
You put your transparency on the overhead projector. What if this was more like a 3D printable type thing where it's a piece of paper, it's a piece of transparency essentially, really thin, but you can then print out what flavors you want where, and then you overlay that transparency over a regular LCD screen. because that way, in a restaurant environment, you could just when the person hands the menu back to you, you just peel that off and throw it away and put a new one on.
Ooh, it's a good thought.
It's an interesting thought.
Only problem is that it adds technology to the equation. You can't just buy, or maybe you could. Maybe you just mass order a whole bunch of these transparencies or these screen guards. You just mass order them like you're ordering paper from Dunder Mifflin, and it just shows up, and you've got a bunch of them to use.
Yeah, but then you end up with a stack of them that taste like chili because one of the people in the office dropped a pot of chili on it.
It could be, yeah. That's fine. Yeah. Why do the snozberries taste like chili? And they say, "Oh, I'm sorry, you got that one. Here, here's a good one."
Kevin.
Kids these days. Yeah. So, I've been having architecture dreams where I have to build things using the city's skylines UI.
Yeah.
And how do you feel about that?
I don't know. Sometimes I get stuck in the dream, and I wake up really frustrated.
That's all right. I had a dream about a YouTuber that I absolutely I don't despise this YouTuber, but I seriously question my sanity that I actually dreamt about them.
Fun. How's Pokimane doing?
No, not Pokimane. She's a Twitch. She's Twitch. No, but it is a woman. It's Shoe on Head. Who here knows who Shoe on Head is?
I know exactly who Shoe on Head is, and I love her equality button.
I'm gonna guess the shoe on head lady is the lady who does YouTube videos with a shoe on her head, because I'm a genius.
No, I can't even remember why she's called Shoe on Head in the first place.
She's called shoe on head and she doesn't do videos with a shoe on her head?
No.
She's a fucking fraud.
You're a big fat phony.
You're a phony.
If only everyone had your dedication to literalism.
I know.
Well, she's married. I believe she is married to or is engaged to the armored skeptic who doesn't wear armor.
No,
Well,
she's
if he's
not
an armored
married.
skeptic, if his name is armored skeptic, of course he's not wearing armor because he's a skeptic about armor.
She's not actually in any kind of relationship at this point in time. She's very single, much
Kosen,
to her.
I'd be really careful about that, because that's that's the first red light that goes off in my head whenever a very popular lady YouTuber or Twitch streamer says that they're single. That's simp bait.
Oh yeah, no. I agree with you. What I'm saying
That's pretty much her
is that,
entire,
yeah, that's pretty much her entire thing. She's very tradcon, basically, very traditional conservative value. She wants to be, barefoot in the kitchen, but still wants equality, sort of kind of thing. It's
she's one of the grifters who makes alt-right bullshit seem cool and approachable to kids.
There we go. What he said.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was gonna see how much you guys talked about her, but that's what she fucking is. Like,
that makes more sense to me.
She's the one who comes out, like, she's the young, attractive girl who comes out and talks about how, like, Me Too is stupid. And, like, all this sexual harassment's not real. Like, that's the kind of person that she is.
Oh, by the way, who was starting the betting pool on Ghislaine Maxwell?
Me.
Okay. I need to speak to you about that after the podcast.
Okay. All right.
Oh God.
Yeah, there's a side pool as well as to how long before she just becomes dead. But that the odds are going way up in that side pool because trial's over now. So.
And she was when trial's over, she was found guilty, and I think it just recently came out that Epstein paid a lot of money to the woman who was accusing Prince Andrew of sexual assault. It's kind of wacky.
Unfortunately, it's a fucking legal juggle, because basically the lawyers for Prince Andrew are arguing this woman who's accusing our client of sexual misconduct was paid, I think it was $500,000 by Jeffrey Epstein specifically so that she would not bring suit against Jeffrey Epstein or any member who could be used as a witness against him, including royalty. So they're saying she got paid to not do this thing. The case shouldn't even be allowed in court.
And kind of crazy, huh?
There might actually be a legal basis for it.
Oh yeah, that is definitely a thing.
Doesn't mean that what she says isn't true.
Oh yeah, no no doubt about that whatsoever. It's all sorts of crazy, man. I mean, I wasn't surprised that Maxwell was found guilty, but I am surprised that she's still alive for now.
Well, it might be real-world proof that she actually doesn't have knowledge of anybody with an inordinate amount of authority or power right now behaving badly.
Well, I can't imagine that she doesn't. I mean, if anything, if I remember correctly, isn't she cited as being the one who helped essentially acquire these girls for Epstein and his island or whatever?
Yeah, so according to the court record and what I read about the decision and all the rest of it, because BBC and Al Jazeera have been covering this pretty extensively. She initially started off as the recruiter, and she found vulnerable girls and brought them in and sort of groomed them for this type of sexual abuse. And then it got to a point where she had done it so many times that those girls that she had abused started bringing in their own friends to be abused. So she became like senior pimp.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that doesn't necessarily mean that she knows where the girls were and what they were doing. But she was also credited as being the main schedule keeper for Jeffrey Epstein. So, a lot of implications.
Yeah.
The only thing we know for sure is she was found guilty of all the hideous things in the book, except for one count, I guess, that couldn't be proven. But yeah, she's gonna spend the rest of her life in jail.
Pretty much. She's 60 years old. She looks great for 60.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh well.
It's amazing what a shit ton of plastic surgery can do.
I don't know. I think, it might be all natural. She might be a big fan of Gwyneth Paltrow and Gwyneth Paltrow's line of feminine rejuvenation products.
Oh my god.
I can't believe that I couldn't get a hold of a jade egg to give Masami and Kosen for Christmas.
You actually tried?
It's fucking expensive, man. I'm sorry. I like you guys. I'm not paying $70 for a Christmas present for you. All right. Leetness has a hard $5 cap on his Christmas presents.
No, that's fair, and I'm glad that you didn't. I probably would have hit you.
You don't hit me. Put it up your ass first. Maybe you'll like it. It does explicitly say on the product page that it could be vaginal or anal. Although they don't recommend anal because apparently they get stuck.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's an ER visit I am not keen on ever.
No, that's how you end up on a TLC show.
Well, that's one of those stupid situations in an ER where you go and you say, I slipped and fell and it went up my butt. When it would be a much more practical answer for you to just say, Gwyneth Paltrow told me to put it in there.
I mean, that is acceptable, yes.
It does not. It surprises me greatly that nobody has brought suit against her yet.
It's all, you know what? She did it right. She doesn't make any claims anywhere, or her company doesn't make any claims. It's all it's within the full bounds of holistics. Essentially, you don't claim that it does anything. You just have testimonials from people who say it made them feel better. And you don't need any proof, and the FDA leaves you alone. Unlike
That
fucking...
is accurate.
I don't know if you guys have been seeing it, but more and more I see sponsored ads on YouTube below videos or in between videos that I never click on or anything, but they're all like, you know, this is the secret to losing weight. This is the whole, well, I saw one recently. It was some fucking YouTube ad for brown adipose tissue that exists in your gut, and you burn more of that tissue when you sleep than you do when you're awake. So the whole secret is to stimulate your metabolism while you're asleep, and you burn all this fat off while you're asleep, and you don't even have to work out. And they make claims. They actually say scientist approved, doctor recommended, you know, this is how you lose weight. This will make you better. This will cure certain ailments. They use all the red flag words. And I can't believe that. Maybe it's just the volume of them. There's so many fucking ads like these coming out that YouTube and the FDA don't have time to flag them all and take them down in a timely fashion. But I can't fucking believe that there's so much of that out there and that it's sponsored ad content. Very illegal. Very illegal in this country.
Illegal, yes, but very popular.
Much like torrenting.
It is. Unfortunately, people buy it.
Mm-hmm.
It was less of a bad thing when they had those shitty ads about the micro air conditioner that used like virtually no power and you know, watch this 2-minute video, it will change your life. This is a secret technology that ultra intelligent people have invented, and it's just a small box that you put on your desktop, and it will air condition your entire room and bring the temperature down while using virtually no power, and it doesn't make any noise. It's a fucking swamp cooler. It's not a new technology.
It's essentially a room humidifier with a cooling coil in it. That's all it is.
Yeah, that's what a swamp cooler is. Just cold water run through a pipe set against a fan. Omega built one of these when we were in college to cool off our dorm room, using a copper tube and two 5-gallon buckets and a desk fan. And it's a swamp cooler. It works, but it's not an air conditioner.
Pretty good shit there, Omega.
That was a fun little science project.
Also,
Fun
nice
story.
headshots.
Fun story. My what was it? 9th grade science fair project was about which battery had the longest life. Now, of course, this was years ago, so that has likely changed. But it was Rayovacs.
Really? And what extremely scientific process did you use to conduct this experiment?
I actually got just 3 AA powered alarm clocks. Used Duracell, Energizer, and Rayovac, and just let them sit for a whole year.
Wow. Okay.
And then
whole year.
and then tested the energy level. Tested the how much voltage they each had at the end of that year. It helps to have a stepdad who is an electrician.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really interesting, Zero.
There you go. I mean, that's better than my... Wait, what grade were you in?
8th, 9th, freshman year, 9th.
9th grade? Okay, I was younger. I think I was in the 6th grade, but my science project was testing which cat food my cat liked best.
Attaboy.
Turns out my cat preferred fish over anything else. It was always fish. Specifically
Shocker.
salmon. That was the hell. I bet my cat fucking loved that because he basically every single night got 3 options for dinner. And yeah, when that stopped, I never even thought about his job, but when that stopped, he was probably like, what the fuck?
Why am I no longer getting three meals at one time?
Oh, that's rough. Yeah, I think my sister and I were the only ones in the house who liked the cat.
Aw.
He was kind of an asshole to everybody else. One time he took a shit in my father's shoe.
You know,
he didn't notice until he put the shoe on. Oh, that was great.
I have always been impressed with cats that do that shit in the owner's shoe, because that takes some fucking skill, you know?
It takes a little bit of doing. Yeah, I mean, the opening of a shoe is not as large as people might think in their minds. I mean, especially if you're a person trying to poop in a shoe. Trust me, I've tried it. It's tricky. But as a cat, yeah, you can't
now
even put your
that's
shoe
the
on.
story I want to hear.
All right. Yeah, okay, so we're done. Good night, everybody. Happy 2022. GG's, and we'll catch you next week for broadcast.
Have
Penis.
fun.
Penis.
Penis.